Warning. The following episode contains mild spoilers about the film Annabelle Creation. There is also a brief discussion about the Ouija series of films, during which time we strongly recommend listening through headphones, as Marianne's over-enunciation of the title presents a moderate risk of summoning any dragons in the area. Ouija. Ouija! Welcome to Marianne's Macabre Movie Review.
Hi guys, before we start the podcast, I want to talk to you about some of the super keen things that we have at It's All Been Done Presents, like The Good, the Bad, and the Geeky. This podcast is hilarious. They do movies, they do TV shows, they have things like Judge Jimmy, they have lots of neat stuff. I highly recommend you check it out, along with the other things at IABD Presents. Also, please support our programming at patreon.com/IABD. Welcome to Marianne's Macabre Movie Review. Today we are reviewing Annabelle 2, The Creation. Dun, dun, dun. We have Ryan.
Hello.
Samantha.
Hello.
Keith.
Hello.
And myself, Marianne. So we're going to do a basic, what we thought of the movie really quick. Then we will get further into depth after that. Ryan, would you like to start?
Yeah. So this is the first Annabelle movie I've seen. I didn't see the other one, but this one, I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good. I mean, for a horror movie standpoint, it's not super scary, but at the same time, a few times you're like, oh, okay. So, yeah.
Yeah, I felt pretty much the same. It was having seen as much horror as I have. If you can make me feel uncomfortable, you've done a successful job. And even though it wasn't outright scary, especially with there's so many movies in this genre and this style that are out, it's kind of old news at this point.
Yeah.
But if you can make me feel a little unease, then I call that successful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they've said all the things I would want to say. So there's nothing else to say. No, I'm
podcast done.
No, I remember being tenser than usual for these kinds of things. Because of Marianne, probably largely, I've seen all the movies within this series, including, was it the Conjuring? Is that?
It's The Conjuring.
Yeah.
There was 1 and 2.
Right.
Then there was Annabelle, which was the prequel before this one, which was actually after this one. Mm-hmm. So it's like, okay.
So
which
let me
is
see the timeline.
Yeah. Annabelle, the one that we had before this, Annabelle 1, was not what I wanted. I thought this is the movie I wanted. I wanted how it happened, not this weird in between where it was created and here's already Annabelle. Where did that come from? Like that.
I don't remember that well, but yes, it takes place immediately after this movie, essentially.
Mm-hmm. They right up to it. Yeah.
I haven't seen any of the Conjurings either, so
I recommend them.
Yeah,
they are good.
I've heard
they're a lot better.
Yeah, my buddy who I was talking to on my podcast was like, "Yeah, Conjurings are pretty good. You should check them out." So I'm like, "All right, I'll check them out."
Watch them.
Yeah, I've never really been a fan of exorcist horror or whatever it would be, or I guess it's more. Yeah, I guess it's more poltergeist, isn't it? Was it possession or was it? It's probably a mixture. Yeah, those things, but it's fun. They do a good job of it. And, what was I going to say? Yeah, so my point in bringing that up was they did play with some expectations a bit. I mean, certain things were particularly funny or scary because you knew of what this represents, like just slapping the doll or something like that. Just that
you're like,
thought of like,
I know what's gonna happen.
Why?
Don't mess up. Don't piss her off. Don't piss her off. Oh my gosh! Which is what Keith and I saw it at a pre-screening.
Oh, okay.
So we get to see it super early. Problem was,
packed theater too.
Theater was packed, and I got seated next to a person that liked to talk to the screen. One of those people that was like, "Oh no, don't go in there," and I could tell she just couldn't control herself.
Yeah,
and it was one of those she's really enjoying the movie. It's taken away from my enjoyment, but I am also getting something from her enjoyment. So,
right.
I was pissed leaving the movie, but now that I've thought about it for a while, I'm like, no. This was actually pretty good to hear an honest person's reaction instead of someone that's like seen all the movies and seen all the things and it's like...
Well, at least they weren't talking through it like, oh my god, this movie sucks. Oh my god, this is stupid. So like they were talking out of terror.
Oh my gosh,
fun.
yeah.
There were some noises like that around the theater, which was kind of gratifying to hear.
Yeah.
On next to me, there was an empty seat, and then this girl who kept turning on her phone.
Oh.
And it was just like, it was like,
I want to take it.
It was like, what the
throw it across.
How do you not know what is happening? You know, it was because also we were in was it Dolby or was it something else? No, it was one of the newer AMC, one of the newer East End theaters. Mm-hmm. So it had recliner seats and things like that. Yeah. She like actually reclined back the seat next to me so she could like put her feet across or something.
Oh my god!
Like you're already reclining.
So there's like an unrestricted view suddenly of her turning on her phone.
Ugh.
And anyway, this is not really important.
I will tell people in the theater, turn that off.
I have a friend named Karen who has no qualms about being like, turn your phone off.
Yep.
And I'm like, and I love going to theaters with her because especially we usually go and see like stuff that is new, and I want to pay attention to it. And so when she's like,
theater?
Put your phone down. Like she will look at them, call them out, and then tell them to put their phone down. And I love it. I love it. Now this one, since it was a pre-screening, there was a cop there that was like, "Don't make me take your phone."
Awesome.
Nice.
And then,
he didn't say that. Well, he said that at the beginning.
Yeah.
Like the intro was very charismatic. But yeah, not during the movie itself.
But then he left, and when I went out to go to the restroom, he was like, on his phone. I'm like, dude, there's phones everywhere in there.
Go be the phone police, please. Do it. Do your job.
So I was like, oh. But yeah, it was what I like to see in especially advanced screenings is when you see a preview and they're like, oh, this movie was so scary, and they have the black light or the the light where you can see night vision, and you're seeing everyone react to it. And I'm like, I want to be like that person sometime, where I'm actually like,
I know,
and I never am.
I'm the same way.
I'm like, I want to be scared like that in a movie.
Me too.
Well, this was there was one part where it was like, that's the reaction I want. I love that. That's my favorite. We'll get to that later, but let's just go into our general, what we liked and what we didn't like about Annabelle. So we can just free for all there.
Ooh.
I liked the tension that it created. I thought it did a very good job of that. I liked the older girls. I thought the snotty, older girl. I thought she did a great job. Mm-hmm. And what I don't like, and this isn't a knock on the movie, this is just for having experience with horror movies, is you see a lot of the stuff coming. Oh, that's going to come to life. This is going to happen. You're dead.
Yeah, but to the credit though, a lot of times there was that lead up in this movie where you think, oh, well, they're just telecasting, but they're letting you know since what happened. Nothing happened.
Yeah, there were a lot of those where like, this is going to happen.
Yeah. A lot of false leads, which I kind of liked because it kept me from knowing exactly what was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, mm-hmm. That's one thing I really liked about it, because that's kind of my thing too in horror. It's like I've seen so many that I'm kind of like her, just this is what it's going to be. But being able to be tricked or being able to feel uneasy, like, is this going to be this or is this going to be that? Mm-hmm. It really brought the, like, I guess it raised my stress level in there in some parts of it. Mm-hmm. So I'm just like, okay, I like that. So
I can't think right now. No, seriously, it's like I should have refreshed myself as well. It's been a little while. Sometimes for the things that I wouldn't like, I would say, because I liked all the things you liked, certainly. Mm-hmm. Just it's tough when you have it's driven by so many children, like in the lead. It can be. They make certain kinds of choices that are irritating sometimes. Come on. But that's not really that unusual for a horror film anyway, because the protagonists have to do things that are unwise sometimes to move the story along.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It'll teach us to not do it.
Yeah. One of the things I liked at the beginning was when they were beginning to do it was the flashback part before, like 12 years later, that type thing. was the little girl's accident. They weren't gory about it. It was just, this is what's happened. And that's the type of horror that really trips up people that have kids. And it's like, you can feel it, like in the movie theater, people that have kids, because they all like audibly were like, oh, like, because that's just something that's not like, oh, that's just tragic. And it's sad, and it's like, oh my gosh, they love this little girl, and she was such a sweetheart too. It was like, even I was like, oh, I really like her, she's cute. And then boom, car, and you're just like, and it was just like, oh, I'll get it.
Yeah.
And
she's trying to be helpful.
Yeah.
And oh my
God. Yeah. And so it was like that type of tragedy. And you can see where the parents were coming from, where they were like, I'll do anything to see my daughter again. That part is like, that's the heartbreaking part of it. It's like they will reach out to anything. They're so desperate that they didn't know that it was not God coming or helping them, but they were like, oh, this is cool.
We have
my
her back,
daughter's
at
back.
least a little bit.
Yeah. And so my favorite part, the part that I was like, and it always gets me in movies, and I love it, it's my favorite part, was where they're doing the flashback again to where the mother is telling stuff. And she says something like, she's like, oh, I love the sound of footsteps through, and you can see her playing around and everything, and she's doing something in the bathroom, folding towels, putting stuff. And then her eyes go to the mirror where she thinks her daughter is, and there's that demon head.
Yes, that thing was terrifying looking.
And then she turns around, and it's just her little daughter looking at her, and I was like, yeah, got me. Love it. I mean, even now I just got goosebumps just thinking about that, because that was so well done. I love that anyway. That trope, not the, oh my gosh, there's a demon there. Oh, no, it's not. But the something innocuous being there. And then holy shit, it's not the kid, it's the demon.
Like, that's when we realized.
Yeah, and my other favorite part was towards the end when she transforms into the giant demon.
Oh, yeah, that was awesome.
That was really well done.
That was really good. I really enjoyed that. And that shows how the girl the mom got her scratch across her face and had a little porcelain thing.
Which was creepy.
Yeah.
I think one of my favorite parts was earlier, was I think the second time the little girl goes into Annabelle's bedroom, and she's playing
Keeps going into that bedroom. I was
know,
getting frustrated.
like,
I
was like, come on, just stop. She starts playing the record player, and she turns around, and there's the bed sheet, and it's walking towards her, and it's stepping on the bed sheet, coming off, and then it's nothing.
Yeah,
like that was good.
Yeah, you're like, oh shit.
I was like, is it going to be a little girl? Is it going to be the doll, or is it going to be a demon? Because we knew, going into it that it's going to be a demon. I was like, what is she going to see? And it was nothing. I was like, oh, I thought that was a really good part, and I was like, my tension rose at that. I was like, oh shit, here it comes.
Ooh. I really like it when the characters have honest reactions too, where it's like, yeah, I'd be freaked out by now. That's what I would do. When the little girl was like, she had that ball on a gun, and she was like,
yes,
boom,
crank it back in,
and then she does something, and it freaks her out, and then cut to her sitting up awake in the chair, just shooting it out into the darkness and winding it back, just making sure there was nothing there, because she couldn't sleep because she was that scared.
Goes up to the ceiling.
Yeah.
And out her hands. I was like, you dead, girl.
Yeah, I like that they didn't technically kill any of the girls. They just, one of them got possessed and then never got fixed. And then the scarecrow, that weird, that was
kind of creepy.
That was
like,
weird.
Oh, you knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
But like the way they did it, I was like, the lights and then nothing. The lights and then dawn. I was like,
and then the screwing of the lights.
Yes.
Oh, I see it unscrewing. She's like, ladder.
That was great. Like I said, this movie did a great job at building tension. And I mean, even though and you could say that the payoffs were small, but they were worth it.
Yeah.
And I like having the subtlety over the cheap jump scares
Mhm.
because it's the subtlety that stays with you
Yeah.
versus like, oh my gosh, I came out of nowhere. Oh, and then you can move on from it. But it's the subtlety and the eeriness that...
And I
They
take
did
points
well.
off for jump scares. It's
Yeah.
a cheap thrill. I
Yep.
hate it. It's done too often, and sometimes the jump scares aren't even anything happening in the movie.
Yeah, they're
It's-
not relevant to the
it's not
story
relevant.
or anything. I'm like, oh,
I mean-
but this movie stayed really relevant to its
Mhm.
core tale.
Yeah. So I have a story about The Conjuring, about something like that. Now, this won't give anything away, but there's a music box in it. And what Lorraine Warren would do was you wind it up, you open it up, there's a mirror in it, and you look in it, and you can see the ghost behind you. The very end of the movie, it's in Ed and Lorraine's museum or whatever you call it of possessed items. You've seen Annabelle, you study so you're like, oh, there's Annabelle, oh, and so there's a little music box and it plays its music, and the camera's panning over the mirror, and instead of doing anything, they just cut to black. And because of the tension of the movie, when I saw it in the movie theater, a woman behind me screamed.
That's awesome.
It was just, everyone was waiting for it. It was
Yep.
waiting for it. But The Conjuring's so good at that subtle tension, cutting to black, scared her to death. Nothing actually happened. It just went to credits. And she's like,
That's
ah!
awesome.
That's so funny.
Yeah,
I love
so
it.
yeah, as Keith and I have said, I recommend watching The Conjuring just for the continuation of the tension.
Mm-hmm.
The other Annabelle movie, I don't think had that. I think
Yeah.
it followed a lot of tropes that were overly used. Like they did the stupid sacrificial black woman at the end, which is dumb. They always do that in paranormal movies because she's the only one that really knows, the voodoo or the hoodoo that's going on, and it's like it's a dumb trope.
Yeah.
I remember even watching it in the theater, and the black ladies behind us were like, "Why? Why does it have to be her? Why?" And she even said, "It's always got to be the black woman that's got to die."
I mean, that is the stereotype and trope in movies.
Yeah,
and what is it? Scary Movie makes fun of that all the time.
Mhm. Yeah. She's the one that knows,
Yep.
so therefore, she's got to be the one that dies, and I hate that.
Because like Sister Charlotte, she's Hispanic.
I don't know. I don't
remember.
Know.
She was
didn't-
darker skinned.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, she didn't die. But I liked her, and especially at the end when she starts praying, she's just picked up and slammed against the wall. And
I was like,
you know.
okay. And then at the end, she was like, okay, we're leaving.
yep, let's
What?
go.
I really like that scene for two reasons. One, because one, she didn't get killed at that, but the second one was like she's doing that, and then she doesn't even realize that she's been lifted up
Yeah.
off the ground, and
Mhm.
then her face when she's like,
Whoop.
"Oh,
Like, and all the girls are like,
yeah."
because they see her happening, and you see their faces, but you don't really see that she's raising.
Mhm.
You think something's happening.
But I like Sister Charlotte. And then, the first time Linda encountered Annabelle under the stairs,
Mm-hmm.
it was funny. It's a classic moment.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Linda being because I keep forgetting I haven't seen this movie in a while.
The
so I
friend
keep
of the main girl.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
the one that actually gets possessed.
which is Janice.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I had to pull up the the list. I'm
Mhm.
like, oh, I forgot all of these names. So, but I thought the kids were really cute and they did a great job. I thought the ending, like chase scenes, were getting a little too lengthy for me.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
Did you stay for the post-credit scene?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Now that what actually happens, that little actual Raggedy Ann doll is actually the one that's in the Ed and Lorraine's
Yep.
museum. So I was like, and so
I thought that was
You mean-
clever.
You mean in real life?
in real
Yes.
life,
Yep, the real life Annabelle.
so that you could tell the people in the audience that knew that, because there are a lot of people going, ooh.
Yep. I was telling him about it when we got
Mhm.
out. I was like, no, that's a real thing. And he's like, really? I was like, yeah, Annabelle's a real doll.
Yeah.
Really, that is kept in a box.
And
By
blessed.
By which,
Yeah.
by which she means like an actual doll, not like a real doll, not like one of the.
But yeah, she was a Raggedy Ann doll. And we pulled up the episode of, God, what is that show?
Oh, I don't know what it was.
Like
They were-
mysteries or whatever, one of those mysteries
Yeah.
reality shows.
Mhm.
And it was going over the Annabelle story, the
Oh,
original,
nice.
the real story, And then we watched a walkthrough of the Warren Museum, which I would love to go tour.
Nice, me
But
too.
they have a priest that works there. That's like their full time. He's like, don't touch anything. The guy's with the camera, and he was like, my hip touched that. Is that okay? Like, and he was so nervous. And the priest was like, it's all right.
Yeah, no, that's just a bookshelf.
Right.
We're good.
Right.
It's not a blessed bookshelf or anything. It's just a bookshelf.
But
We're
like,
good.
yeah, Annabelle's in that box, that blessed box, and it says absolutely do not open or something like that. And I'm like, whew, I would love to just go see that.
Me too.
So you could open it.
I
The
touch
temptation.
things. I like to touch things,
Dude,
but the
it's
temptation.
bad.
We're in a bookstore, and I'm touching every book, and he's like, stop it. And I'm like, touch.
Bookstore, grocery store, anything.
I'm a toucher. But like when I go to an art museum, I'm like, no, don't touch the art. But I want to so bad. But yeah, I would be super tempted to open it, but I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I'm
You don't play with that stuff.
I'm skeptical of all of it, obviously. Well, not
Yeah.
obviously, but I mean, it's. I still wouldn't do it. I mean,
Yeah.
Why would you?
Take that risk,
Well,
no matter
that's the
how
point.
skeptical you are.
Yeah. It's like, how ballsy do you have to be like, yeah, this is nothing. Oh, shit.
Yeah. Even
Well-
if you're not too sure about it, you don't believe or whatnot, then there's no reason to really test that boundary.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, sure, the priest could be like, he could be a priest, he could not be. It could be part of the show for that. But at the same time, it's like, just enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah.
Did they see him in a commercial or something?
Yeah.
Well, there's a minimum there's one death that's attributed to the real Annabelle doll, and that was there was a biker and his girlfriend. Dude who rides a motorcycle and his girlfriend. And the reason that's important is because he crashed his bike and that's how he died. But he was screwing with the case, tapping on it, messing with the actual doll. And because, again, you go back to that, who's ballsy enough to just be that much of a jerk?
Yeah.
Well, a biker.
And,
Yeah.
That's what makes him a biker. Not he rides a bike and
Exactly.
he's ballsy. So,
But someone just has no regard for any of it,
Yeah.
and it's just, hey, are you real? And then they crashed on the way back, and he died. So
And that's the thing that always gets me in horror movies. Have you seen the Ouija movie?
not yet.
Okay, so
I
there's,
haven't. A lot of these
in the-
current ones I haven't
in the
watched.
preview they have a thing. It's like, we have to play the game again.
Mhm.
Hey, it's not a game. You're actually contacting spirits. So stop.
Yep.
but it's
Yeah,
sold with board games.
But the
so.
fact that you call it a game is your main problem right there.
Right? It's not a game.
Okay, you've experienced all this bad stuff happening, and halfway through the movie you say we have to play the game again. Hey, guess what? It's not a game. If you've done it and something's actually happened, it's no longer a game. It's actually you actually did something and something bad is happening.
Right.
Just pack it up
So,
and put it away.
Stop. Oh, yeah, that just really annoys me when people are like, "Oh, this is a fun game." Not a game. You're
Yeah.
playing with demons and stuff like that. How many times have you seen this?
Right?
Yeah.
Like, come on.
It's like, I know they're in a movie, but if you've already experienced some demonic stuff, maybe change your attitude a little bit. Treat it with a little bit more reverence.
Yes, because this is not
Yeah.
something you joke about or play with.
Right.
In a movie or not. Like, I have friends that won't go near Ouija boards.
Yeah.
Like, I don't own one, I don't have one, but even just the plastic ones you see in any toy store, and they're like, nope, keep that thing away from me.
I've had some friends that played with it and had some shit happen, and so they're with them telling me the story, I'm like, nope, not gonna play with it because
Not deal with that.
got the right amount of juju in you, then maybe you will talk to something and it won't like you, or maybe it will like you, and there you are,
Never
you're stuck,
leave.
stuck forever.
Damn it, now it's
Well,
attached to me.
I guess this is my life now. I'm haunted for the rest of my life.
GF, ghosts, friends forever.
That's where you just you get the porcelain mask and sit in the bed.
Yeah, and ring a bell.
Bring me some water, please. Oh.
She was overly dramatic about that.
Yeah.
I mean, she
Possibly.
did have a whole face full of gone, but
Yeah.
Her eyeball's gone, and then I thought she had a pretty gory end.
yeah.
Yeah, and then she was like, "Wait, I'm still alive!"
Right? I was like,
"What?"
Well, the possession aspect of that was kind of cool, but I thought that sounds like, well, you have to have a reason to put the kid back in the butcher, or not the butcher, but the butler
pulley,
chute.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, well, that's a pretty good reason.
The one thing that the dad, the foster, whoever guy there, when I think he grabbed the cross and was
Samuel.
holding it, and then all of a sudden his hands went boop, 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 boop.
Yep, it's breaking all his
I was
fingers
like,
back.
Well, that's
not pleasant.
That's not pleasant. And then, of course, him actually being dead. And I'm like, huh, wow, okay, cool. They actually, and that was pretty horrific.
Yeah, that was...
Yeah, that was not something that I was expecting either. I was
I
expecting...
thought he was going to survive and, like, banish it.
That, me too. What was the rating on this? Was this R? Yeah, it was an R. So, for the R rating, I thought it wasn't as gory as it could have been. And I think they, like, held some restraint back, which is good.
I agree.
Like, the most gory scene was the one with the mom, the bisecting part.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything else. I mean, because they held back with the girl. The demon was pretty scary. But, I mean, 2 scenes of gore is all I can think of in that whole movie. The rest was more, we're building up tension, which is what I like about it.
Great.
Yeah.
I'm not a gore porn fan. Don't like it. There's no need for it. I'm fine with gore if it lends itself to the story. Same thing with jump scares. You know, if there's a reason to have it and it's relevant,
and
I'm
it's
fine
not the
with
cat.
It.
Yeah.
Right.
For goodness sakes, how many times is it going to be the cat?
Right. Have you ever seen Drag Me to Hell?
Yes. I didn't like that movie.
That movie was so dumb.
Yeah.
I couldn't stand. I was watching it like, oh my god! And then the possessed goat came, and I was like, I'm so done.
I mean, I think it was supposed to be funny, though. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, I know there were funny parts, but I don't think it pulled off everything it wanted. But I was like, okay, but like, I don't want your freaking devil's like, I don't want your cat.
Well, it's definitely like a Sam Raimi thing, like Evil Dead.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He was the director, wasn't he?
Let me check.
Yeah, so I mean, I think it was supposed to be kind of...
Yeah, that
Like
makes perfect sense.
It took a while for him to get to... I remember like the kitchen scene where the girl actually started like talking to the demon, sort of like a Bruce Campbell type. Yeah, like a Bruce Campbell type character of like, oh, don't you do it? You know, that kind
And I
of
haven't
Sam
seen
Raimi.
this since 2009, so.
Yeah.
But it was funny in parts, but I was like, okay, I'll never watch this again.
Yeah.
And I love all of his other movies. So. Some get you, some don't.
The violence and gore has a long list, but it's more violence than it is gore. So, because I looked at the parental guide, sex and nudity, nothing. Profanity, a damn and a hell, which will get you a PG rating at the worst.
Yeah.
Violence and gore is just a lot of violence. I mean, it doesn't. There's only like the 2 things that we mentioned, so I think that's. I think it deserves the R rating for the 2 things, but it probably could have gotten away with PG-13 if they really wanted it to hit that group.
Yeah.
So in Marianne's Macabre movie review, we do 2 ratings, 1 for scariness, 1 through 10, and then 1 for all over enjoyment. Example, Kayako versus Sadako, which is was a pretty bad Japanese horror film, but the enjoyment was way up there. I mean, because it was just a fun movie, but plot wise and everything else, it was like a 3 because it had a lot of jump scares. But you're like, okay, it's the cat again. Hey, everybody, cat 3 times in a row now.
Aww, poor kitties.
Yeah, but
I think there's supposed to be a cat in it, though.
Yeah, there was supposed to be a cat in it. So anyway, so we do 1 to 10. So,
overall enjoyment. I'd give it a 7. I really enjoyed it. There's a few parts where I'm like, oh, okay. So to me, if you can make me kind of do that in a horror movie, then I enjoy it. I'd go see it again. So yeah, 7 for me. Now, plot wise, I'm thinking mid-grade. I'm thinking 5 for that, just because I mean that type of thing you've kind of seen that, but it kind of you knew what it was going to be if you saw the first one. So. Which I didn't, but you make the creation of the stuff, you figure it's coming back. But yeah, no, it could have been a different way. There's some parts where I'm like, oh, okay, of course we're doing this. But,
yeah.
Well, and even the previews. I mean, you know what you're walking into. You know what you're getting. So you go to these movies really for the enjoyment of them, no matter how good or bad they are. And I really like this one, so I'm pretty much on par with what Ryan said. I think my overall enjoyment was like 7 to 8, because I thought it was good, and it made me tense, and it a little uncomfortable in my seat, like, whoo, okay. And the subtleness really did it for me. Story-wise, again, I haven't seen any of the other ones, so I don't know how well it meshes with the rest of them, but I'll probably say like 6 and 7 for my 2. 7 for overall enjoyment, 6 for story, just because I don't know the others. If they don't mesh well, then it would have gone down if I'd known, but I don't know, so.
Yeah.
Same. No, seriously, it's probably about this. Oh, God.
If looks could kill.
Yeah, she just turned and looked at me like Annabelle, essentially.
Oh, God, Keith's stuck to the wall.
Probably 7 or 8, somewhere around there for the overall enjoyment, because just in retrospect, it's something that I didn't realize at the time, like while I was watching it, which speaks to something as well. Contrasting with other things like that I actually was, I guess, scared. I mean, something. The tense, certainly. So most other things don't really seem to, resonate in that way.
So 8 for both. For plot and for enjoyment factor?
I think, as Ryan was saying, the plot suffers because of the formula. There's only so much you can do within that. I would say higher than a 5, but, 6 or 7, somewhere around there.
Okay. So the other thing that I forgot about was when the girl had the gun for the first time, and she's like just playing with it and doesn't know what it does. Accidentally hits the trigger and hits Annabelle in the face on the head.
I was like, oh my God, no, you didn't.
It's like the entire audience in our theater went, oh,
you done messed up, girl.
Yeah, it was like, oh shit, what's going to happen?
That is exactly what I meant. I mean, that kind of, if something makes me feel like that.
Yeah.
That is, yeah.
I was checking my IMDB rating because it has been since before the movie came out when I saw it, and I gave it a 7, and Annabelle, the rating that was given on IMDb was also a 7. So I've actually normally I'm usually higher or much lower than what IMDb gives.
You're dead on.
So this time I'm dead on. Enjoyment factor because it meshes well with the other things.
Okay.
Besides the other Annabelle movie, I think it kept up the suspense and the good, like, not jump scares, the actual building the tension. The plot, I'm going to give it a 7. It doesn't deserve an 8 because it's formulaic. But I did want to see it. I did want to see how Annabelle was created. Yeah. So that's...
I loved... Oh, I'm so sorry to be this.
No, go ahead.
I loved the whole beginning sequence.
Yeah.
When he was making the dolls. I thought that was great.
And then you don't find out till the very end that his daughter, who they've been calling B the whole time, was actually Annabelle. And that doll that was created was like 1 of 1,000 or 100 or something.
I thought that whole beginning sequence was great. The doll's creepy as F. I mean, that thing is... I would not buy that for my child.
It doesn't age well either.
No.
Okay. Still,
that doll's creepy.
That's just asking for nightmares for your child.
Right.
It's like, oh, look here, this is for you. Oh, I'm so... Oh.
You've got a Joker smile, and I don't like it.
They show that the eyeballs blinked. But there were multiple times when people were handling the dolls that they didn't blink, and that bothers me sometimes. Where it's like, no, okay, she needs to blink because that's how she was created.
Yeah,
so.
the ones that you dip forward. Yeah.
There's ectoplasm stuck in it.
Right.
Something, but they didn't even have any ectoplasm in the whole movie.
No, it was just like the demons just holding it still.
Yeah.
So keep your eyes open.
Yeah, so 7 and 7 for me because plot didn't get there, and but the enjoyment factor was good. I'll probably watch it again because the woman next to me took away from some of my enjoyment. But I also got enjoyment from her actual enjoyment of the movie. So now we go to where we want to talk about what we are promoting. So podcasts, charities you like, stuff like that. So,
I'm just part of one podcast right now called Wax Intellectual Podcast. Just me and two other guys. We grab a topic off current events, or we just talk about something that was fun, and we just break it down because we think that what you hear on the news and what you see on TV all the time is way either overhyped to one way or overhyped to the other way. So just get like a normal, natural, this is my impression take on it with a little bit of background information. So yeah, check it out, waxintellectualpodcast.com.
Yay. So I got a couple things. Of course, Keith will probably say radio hour, so I can leave that.
Nope.
one.
no,
Oh, really?
he doesn't know. Just do it.
Tisk.
And you can't put Keith on the spot or he won't remember. You gotta have someone else do it.
Okay, gotcha. So you guys should check out something that Keith, Marianne, and I'll take part in. And that is It's All Been Done Radio Hour, which is part of the IABD Presents network. So IABDpresents.com, It's All Been Done radiohour.com. Find us on YouTube as well as Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, all at IABD Presents. Radio Hour is live monthly at Mad Lab Theater. It's super fun, scripted geeky comedy, so modernized and told in old-time radio style. So come see it. The other thing that I do for the network is our quarterly book club. So, which Marianne is going to be on with me.
I'm excited about this one.
We still have a month left of this quarter, so go pick up. I don't know when this is going to go out, so I'll just do the next two books. So the one that's for quarter 3 is The Butterfly Garden by Dot Hutchinson, and that was, we enjoyed it, so I'm not going to spoil that, but the episode will drop the last day of September, and then our new book will start the very next day for quarter 4, which is Misery by Stephen King. Oof. I'm very excited to read that. I've seen the movie, love the movie. I cannot wait. I've heard the book is much more intense, and I'm very excited to read it.
It is.
So, and then the other thing is Not Another Podcast, which is one I do with my friends. So notanotherpodcast.com.
Too busy.
Mm-hmm.
That is so much better than I could have done. Really. Well, let's see. Also on IABD Presents, It's All Been Tracked Before, which I guess I've been doing a lot of with Jerome Wetzel, or Jimmy, the creator of It's All Been Done, and Stephen Woosley, typically. Sometimes Amanda, sometimes Colleen now.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, the premise is, I'm sure all of you know, is just we've been rewatching all of Star Trek from beginning to end.
The original series.
Yeah, the original series, but we're going to move into all the other things eventually.
Oh, man, that's awesome.
And it's staggering when they talk about, we'll probably get to that 10 years from now. I'm like, oh my God. Just thinking about that. But yeah, we're in season 2 now.
Yep, season 1 just did its wrap up, and then season 2 will return in October.
Yeah. I've also done a few audiobooks. I guess Marianne was nodding at me to say that. Which you can find on audible.com if you search J. Keith Jackson, which is the name I use.
Yay.
Because it is my name.
He has 4 books out there now.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes.
That's exciting.
I am a board member for the Ovarian Cancer Alliance of Ohio, and ovarian cancer is very near and dear to my heart because my mother passed away from it. Know the symptoms. If you know the symptoms, then you can take early action. And you can live. The problem with my mother and actually my cousin, they didn't know the symptoms, and so we kept having all these different, my stomach, I'm full after eating only a little bit, or I've got bloating. I mean, and I know all these things are things that women are like, oh, I have that all the time. Yeah. It's like, but if it lasts for more than 2 weeks, then you really need to go and see a doctor just to get it checked out. Just make sure it's nothing to be serious, that you need to take super seriously. Coming up in September is Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month, and so I would really, we have a race called the Strides of Hope. That's on September 18th. That's my spiel. I know I didn't mean to take us all down, but it's important to me, and it's important that I don't want anyone else to lose their mother, their sister, their aunt, their friend, cousin, anybody. Just please, remember the symptoms. So, thanks, and I'll see y'all later. Bye. Bye.